In today's video, we're continuing our discussion on the role-based access controls available in the Nerdio Manager. Today's discussion is going to be about the end user role. This role is used by the actual users who are connecting to their desktops and occasionally may need to do management tasks on those desktops. Now, those management tasks fall into two categories. They can be managing their current session in a pool desktop environment or a remote app environment, or it could be managing the actual power state of a particular VM if the user is assigned to a personal desktop where they have their own VM that is exclusively theirs. So let's take a look at how all of this works. We're going to go into the Nerdio Manager as a WVD admin. On the users and role screen, we'll be able to see who is given what role. And in our particular case, we have an NMW tester user that's currently given a role of end user on two WVD tenants. One is called Acme Corp Production, and the other one is called Acme Corp Validation. Those are two different tenants. We can edit these assignments. We can maybe take one of the tenants away or add some other tenants, and we can change the role if we wanted to, or we can remove that user's access altogether. Now, once this role is added, let's take a look at how this looks from an end user perspective. So here's what the end user would see if they were to log into the Nerdio Manager for WVD application. What they would see is any personal desktops that are currently available to them and any currently active or disconnected pooled sessions that they have. And this would be across the two different tenants that they were assigned. So what you can see here is there are two personal desktops that this user is currently assigned to. One is in the production tenant and the other one is in the validation tenant. The one in the production tenant is currently powered on, and the one in the validation tenant is currently powered off. And there is no session that's active on either one of these personal desktops, and therefore our options are limited. For the one that is currently on, we can either restart that machine or power it off. And for the one that's currently off, we can only power on that machine. So let's see what we would need to do in order to power off this one and power on this one. So we're simply going to click power off and click OK. And we're going to be able to click power on here and click OK. And these tasks are now being submitted to the Azure Resource Manager on behalf of the application. So even though the user, the end user who's logged in, the NMW tester account, has no access to make changes in the Azure Resource Manager in the Azure portal, still they will be able to control only their own desktops. So imagine if they've powered off their desktop after Friday afternoon when they were done for the day, and now on the weekend all of a sudden they need to do some work. They're able to log in, power on their desktop, log into it, make whatever changes or whatever they need to do any work they need to do, and finally be able to shut that desktop down when they're done. Now, if we look at the pooled sessions section, here is where we would see any of the users currently active or disconnected sessions. So we can see that there is currently a active session. We can see that it's active from here, and it is on the host pool called single user desktops. And we no longer have the ability to power on, off, or restart that machine because this is a pooled desktop scenario where this desktop VM is actually shared with others in the environment. So the user doesn't have the authority to restart that machine. However, what they could do is they could either disconnect their user, they could lock their user off if that session is frozen or stale, or they can send a message to that user session on the screen to test to make sure that it's working. So let's go ahead and log that session off and click OK. So this is a way that an individual end user can manage their own sessions and their own personal desktop from a power state perspective. And in future videos, we're going to take a look at other role-based access control roles that are available inside of the Nerdio Manager for WVD. And I will see you soon.